Brooklyn City Board of Education regular meeting. Mr. Hoskins, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Neal?
Here.
Mrs. Barcheck? Mr. Singer?
Here.
Mr. Hennings?
Here.
Mr. Roper?
Here.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Flag's right there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody here this evening. With all, as we all know, there's been a lot of changes in school. And I'm going to make a little public service announcement that Brooklyn City Schools is going to start doing at almost every event, right? Correct? You
Can't hear
mean
ya.
louder? I could be extremely loud if need be.
Or you
So
can come
anyway.
sit closer.
The emergency operating procedures are going to be spelled out at a lot of events from going forward. So I'm going to make a public service announcement before we get started here. May I have your attention, please? Please pay attention to the following announcement regarding safety and evacuations. Please note the local location of the AED is by the elevator across from the pre-K 7 office or on the wall outside the Brooklyn Board of Education office. The nearest phone is located at the librarian's circulation desk. Please note the exits are located across from the bottom of the stairs. Interior exits are located by the circulation desk, up the stairs, or through the door behind the stairs. In the case of a tornado, please remain calm and enter the classroom located behind the stairs. In the case of a fire emergency evacuation, remain calm and exit toward the parking lot using doors across from the staircase or through the doors by the circulation desk and down a hallway. The handicap exits are located across from the bottom of the staircase or by the circulation desk. Thank you. Next, we're to go on to student achievement.
All right, thank you, Mr. Neal.
Dr. Gleich.
This month, we have our pre-K 7, and I'm going to invite Mrs. Seco and Ms. Smith to come forward. Going to give a kind of a year in review for the Board of Education tonight.
All right, well, welcome everyone. I want to thank you all for coming to my presentation. I'm so excited. So Brooklyn School, a year in review in the future. So I can't believe it is already mid-May. It's almost over. We have almost completed our first year. We have definitely had, I feel, a great year. We've learned a lot. We've done some really great things, but I know we're both really, really excited about the future too, and as we work that way. So some of the things to highlight, culture, we came in this year, what are you going to focus on, what are you looking to do? And culture is huge. And I don't think we ever get to the point where like the culture is the best, and there's nothing else to work on. Our culture is our staff, it's our families. We've made improvements, we're gaining. I think we have a lot of great things going on in our building. Some positive takeaways for this year, we did a weekly Guess Who Am I? And recently we just had an employee that is leaving and she said, I'm so sad to not read your newsletters anymore because I like to read the different things about the people within the building, because combining the pre-K 3 and the 4-7 building, we had to get to know each other, and we still don't know each other. I often get asked, where does that person teach, or are they a classroom aide, or different things. So we did the weekly Guess Who Am I? We did team building activities and staff meetings. They changed different times. I did a lot of listening and learning sessions with teams, individuals, one-on-one meetings. We've tried to improve the line of communication. It's not perfect yet, but there's always room for growth, and we do a family newsletter every week, and we try to do a staff newsletter every week. We do it. We don't try to
and
do
the
it.
teachers also do their own newsletters, which that should be highlighted with that communication with the families as well, which we appreciate, obviously.
And then one of the things BLT did is we had these positive pop-ins, and teachers went into different teachers' classrooms to just highlight the great things that they were doing within their classrooms, and we hung it up on the board in the workroom, and I love going in and reading them. Letters, I know we talked, Michelle and I presented back in the wintertime regarding letters, so we have started letters training, and that's the literacy professional development with our K through 8 teachers that are teaching English language arts. So we had our first group last week, and we have our second group tomorrow, and it was all day professional development. And over time, they will learn how to analyze and evaluate reading materials, different strategies for teaching different students, looking at those weaknesses and how do we address them, and then different assessments to help guide what they're gonna do. So here's some pictures, and so anybody going to the second one will have a little sneak peek, but this is one of the screens, and it just shows us that if we don't learn how to read and learn all the sounds and how the brain makes those connections, it can look foreign to us and we don't understand what that is. And so we did a whole session last week on like what do these letters represent, what words do they stand for, and trying to teach that it's hard to learn how to read. We often don't recall as kids learning how to read, but it's really difficult. And so just taking us back to there. And so that was really neat with the teachers. And there's a couple of them participating.
And the process behind all this, which I think is really interesting, is the metacognition of learning to read. So it's, like you talked about, learning the process of reading, but how our brains work and how it functions, so our kids are better in literacy, which is our main goal.
And so we laughed a lot last week too while we were in there learning, and it was just really great. And I had a couple teachers after the training last week said, "This is such great stuff, I'm so excited." So we have tomorrow and then throughout in August on a PD day, in November and in February PD days, we're gonna continue that learning and implementing it. And then we have a training manual and modules. We also this year started implementing LLI, which I know Michelle and I presented on also. So we got the materials, and that's a very scripted literacy plan. And the teachers are, mainly our title teachers and intervention specialists, are working with small groups, no more than 4 kids, really honing in on explicit instruction. I would say March, April, some of them have implemented it with quite a few kids. Some of them are still working on that implementation because it takes a little while to figure that out. But I know a few of them have shared that they have really seen some great growth in some of our kiddos that are struggling readers. And we have as a society across the country and the world, we do have a lot of deficits in reading, and so we want to keep focusing on that.
So testing was a huge success, and I want to attribute that to Kristen and the guidance counselors and our teachers who, we tested Chromebooks ahead of time, and it was, technology is always can be a huge difficulty or, barrier, but we tested ahead of time. We had 2 small glitches, so it really worked. The kids were positive, they were prepared, they persevered. I was proud of our students, we were all proud of our students and our teachers for preparing, so we thank all of you here for that. I think it really shines, so we all had Chromebooks, and it was really important. We were able to test 235 kids in one day, which is huge. So that just shows us how important the Chromebooks are and how important technology is, because going further into state assessments, our students need to be prepared, and having that technology piece working, and it all worked, it was beautiful. It only helps them do better on these assessments as well. So that point was poignant.
We also had a little bit of social emotional learning. Our kiddos today have a lot going on. And so our guidance counselors led some social emotional learning. It was a 30-minute session between 6 to 8 weeks that the teachers would come up and sit down and listen and watch videos and ask questions. And so they looked at, the dynamics of trauma in the classroom, what might it look like. They identified ways to help our kids. We still have a long way to go to continue to look at the trauma-informed care and helping our kids, but that was just the beginning of looking at all of our kids and what they need. Officer Dan, we introduced, not him this year himself, but we introduced him teaching drug and alcohol and tobacco and social skill awareness program with our 5th graders. It was 10 weeks. The kids really seemed to enjoy it. Dan really got into it. Our 5th grade team did an amazing job assisting Dan and being so collaborative and helping him out with things. And he is so excited. He has certificates to give them all for participation. And he's already talking about, what does it look like for next year? So we're hoping to be able to expand that.
We had a lot of memories. We could probably talk all night about all the things the kids have done and we've been included with. But the field trips, we had the zoo, the Playhouse Square, Science Center, which will be on the 31st with 3rd graders, Greenfield Village, which Kristen went to in Michigan with our 5th graders, had a great time there. We've been doing buddy groups. I think we talked about that a little bit before, where we paired our older kids with our younger kids to really teach them social emotional things and friendship and just character development. And I have a couple quotes from students I'll read about some of these things that we've done. The bike rodeo was a success. I wasn't able to be there, but a lot of the kids, it's a huge thing in the community. One school, one book. I had a second grader tell me how wonderful it was to read Willy Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and it was her favorite book now. Field days are coming up, so I encourage everybody to come out and visit. That'll be a good time. And then, as always, Right to Read Week, Literacy Night, Math Night. Those were very important. All the community came out. The kids, and it was great this year because we were able to concentrate on the PK7 kids, and everybody was representative of that. So that was really important. Spirit Weeks, of course. Thank you, Mr. Hans, for always, developing that. That was really nice of you and Student Council. So here are just a few quotes from the students that I've gathered today. Aiden Bazin, who's a 6th grader, said that he really enjoyed his junior Hurricanes basketball team. And he said, I enjoyed the competition and making it to the championship and making friendships, even though I wasn't at the championship, which made me laugh. Then we had a 5th grader, Maria Martinez. She said, I enjoy teaching the little kids more about friendship, looking at the buddy groups. Leo Burnett in kindergarten said, my favorite thing at the zoo was the lions and the meerkats because they're funny and they roar when I go by. And then he gave me a 10-minute lesson on these animals I knew nothing about. Harmony Jones in 2nd grade said, I liked One School, One Book because my favorite book was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I really loved the assembly for it, that was a really good time for the kids. And then finally, our 7th grader, Alexis Martin, who's moving on to 8th grade, and was extremely excited. She said, our 7th grade dance was more memorable than the other dances because we got to do something just as 7th graders, and it was our final goodbye before high school, which I thought was a really awesome ending for her 7th grade career. So, good, lots of things from the kids. They're very happy, they're very enthusiastic, and it will be sad to see them go.
It will. And I had a 6th grader today tell me his favorite thing about the school year was the One School, One Book, and that he got a free book, and having that book that is his book that he gets to keep. So I thought that was really neat.
Yep.
Here's some pictures just from the year. Miss Bird does reward days with our 4th through 7th graders, so there they are ice skating, some buddy groups, a touch of truck in the SWAT vehicle, and then the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory kickoff. So next year, 1920, I never wanted to wish a year of my life away, but I kept saying this year, I know the first year's really, it's a lot. Next year in curriculum, we want to continue to focus on letters and LLI and Daily 5. In math, we are going to be working with the ESC with some math coaches, and we are meeting with them in June to start looking at that. And then also focusing on data. What is quality data? How do we collect it? How do we use it? Just really analyzing all of our processes in there. Staffing reconfigurations. We are reconfiguring the building next year to support some of the literacy and math components. So we will have 4 kindergartens next year, 4 1st grades, 4 2nd grades, 4 3rd grades, 4 4th grades, 3 5th grades, 3 6th grades, and 3 7th grades. I got to meet the class of 2032, like, whoo! I met 22 of them last week, and they are so excited, and I just thought back to, like, the little kids and just, that, like, I can't wait to be in school, and how do we capture that and hold on to that for all the years they're with us? And their parents were so awesome, too. They had such great questions. Culture, of course, we're going to continue to build a positive rapport with staff and families, but keep focused around our students and continue with trauma training. And then I put a picture in from the 7th grade dance and just wish the class of 2024 best of luck, because they've been a memorable group of kids, and I've really enjoyed getting to know them, and I look forward to seeing what they do.
Mrs. Barczyk, your son is a wonderful dancer. I don't know if you know that, but he did the Fortnite thing very well.
Well, yeah, You must get it from me.
You should
yeah.
be proud. You should be proud.
And that's our presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
know.
Great job.
You get that from his
Thanks.
daddy. Oh, yeah, he gets that from his daddy.
Appreciate that.
2032.
Yeah,
Thinking about that one.
I'm doing some math.
Resonating right now.
Yeah.
So.
I'm doing math.
Well, I think it's been a very good year, a successful year. Thank you, both Mrs. Seco, Mrs. Smith, the staff. I think you guys have done a wonderful job. I appreciate all the efforts. I mean, certainly bringing together, 2 different schools and merging them together as one. certainly is a big undertaking, and you folks did a wonderful job, and obviously with the help of the staff there, so thank you.
Good job. Appreciate it. Next, we're to go on to comments from visitors. In order for the board to fulfill its obligation to complete the planned agenda in an effective and efficient fashion, a maximum of 30 minutes of public participation as it pertains to school-related topics will be permitted at each meeting. Each person wishing to address the board will approach the podium and state his/her name and address. If several people wish to speak, each person will be allotted 3 minutes until the total time of 30 minutes is used. During that period, no person may speak twice until all who desire to speak have the opportunity to do so. The period of public participation may be extended by a vote of the majority of the board. Anybody? You're never shy.
Hi. Wow, this is cool. Everybody's here. All my great teachers. My kids have had every single one of you in this room. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I enjoyed it. My name is Mike Changary. I live at 8705 Morton Avenue in our fine city of Brooklyn. And I just wanted to say to the people that I talked to about getting this levy passed, I wasn't on any committees. I did put a sign out, but I just want to say thanks for giving the district a chance. It would be very sad right now if I had to go home and tell my 3 kids that they wouldn't have band next year, or theater, or an art program, or their counselor's leaving. And I'm gonna keep on, like I said in the last meeting, I did get to speak with the governor's office and the Department of Education for the state of Ohio. I'm gonna keep the heat on them, and if anybody wants to join me in that battle, just email the crap out of them, if I can say that, and send them emails and call them and tell them to do their job, because we are expected to pay our taxes, and we are expected to come to work every day and earn our keep, and they go down there, and I watched it on television, and I just turn it off because I get frustrated. I hope they'll get this figured out. The only question I had is, given that we have some flexibility, hopefully with spending, is there any way that we're gonna be able to fix a Wi-Fi issue so that some of our fine staff across the entire spectrum from K all the way up to 12, I'm very good at listening and communicating, but I'm tired of them having to spend their own pocket money on cellular data so our kids can learn.
That may be in some of my report.
I didn't read anybody's report, but
Neither have
I'm the communicator, so don't shoot the messenger.
No, you're fine.
But
I agree with you.
Oh well, and
Just
if
so you
there's
know.
anything that I can do to go out and talk to the people I talk with, hopefully you guys can communicate that back to me. And I did enjoy going with our new principal to Greenfield Village. It's my last trip up there with my youngest guy, and it was enjoyable. It was a fantastic time. We just need more time to teach the kids. On positives, and then I'll say something. I was very disappointed that they removed the Emancipation Proclamation from the Rosa Parks bus area, because when I'm up there, I try to teach the kids that I have to always question and read what you're seeing and not believing what you're always being told. And I'm like, guys, we gotta go read this Emancipation Proclamation, and I go there and it's gone. And they're like, why is that so important? And I said, if we didn't have Abraham Lincoln, you wouldn't have had Rosa Parks get out of jail. Because if you think about it, that's what gave the courts the framework to permit eliminating not only segregation, but also giving everyone equal voice, including women, because that provided them with the ability to become Title IX, which is the sports thing. So we're all hopefully going to be on an equal footing. And with that note, I just wanted to say thank you for everyone that voted for the levy. If anyone wants to speak and they're afraid to get up here and speak, please let me know. I don't ever mention anybody's names, but I will be the person that will carry a torch for anyone in the community that doesn't want to get up here. So have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Chingary. Anyone else? Okay. We're gonna go on to comments from board members, or take that back, superintendent's report.
All right.
I bypassed source, get rid of Dr. Glykoff.
Well, thank you. I'll make it brief tonight. Quick thing, I want to kind of pilot right on what Mr. Changari said. Thank you, thanks for your support, thanks for keeping the pressure on the State House, as we will continue to do that. Gotta say thank you. Thank you to the people of Brooklyn, the voters, the residents who came forth and supported us, issue one. Obviously, we'd be having a totally different board meeting tonight.
Correct.
You know, with that, there's a lot of people to thank. I want to start with certainly our levy chairs, Mrs. Flanagan, Mrs. Verchio. They did a wonderful job really coordinating a lot of the work for that, and I want to thank them for that. The administrative team, the Board of Education, put a lot of hours and efforts. Thank you for your support of that. The countless volunteers, many of them are here tonight. You know, some of our teachers and staff, thank you for your efforts for that, and obviously our community members who are here, and hopefully you partook of our thanks this year. It was really a good team effort. And you know, as we looked at the results, we spoke about this, you know, as a group soon after. We expected about 1,300 votes. We got about 1,900 votes that day, which really said that our message was compelling and it brought a lot of people out to the ballots. So, and thankfully we were on the positive side with that. But I want to thank everybody who put time and energy into that. It really was truly a team effort. The students are the winners here. This isn't my win, it's not the board's win, it's our students' win. And certainly the opportunities that they're gonna continue to have. You know, as I've spoken about Brooklyn, we have big school opportunities in a small school setting. And we've heard that from strategic planning, that folks value the small school setting and the small school opportunities. And so they're gonna continue to do that here with this. But as, you know, Mrs. Seco said and others have said, May is a pretty crazy month, to say the least. Had a lot of things going on. This is just what we've had. I mean, May 8th, we had a big event here, obviously for staff appreciation, and thank you for all your efforts, what you do for our kids every single day. We're happy that our kids are in front of you. And that was a great way for us to really just talk about that whole week, our staff, both classified and our teaching staff. The day after, we had International Festival. Mr. Bachowski, who's here, has put countless hours and efforts into that. What a great way to really kind of celebrate the diversity of Brooklyn. The following day, we had Oscar winner Pat Tahaney here, spoke with many of our students. What a great opportunity that was. And I'll tell you what, I was there for her, and what a compelling speaker, and really resonated with our students. Really spoke about a message of, hey, be your own person and you can do this. An inspiration. What an inspiration she was for all of us. Last week we had our BHS Awards Night. A wonderful evening. Our businesses and our community support our kids. To the tune of, organizations had a total of $25,000 in scholarships that they handed out that night to our kids. So we should really be proud. Our community really does support our students. And many awards with kids and most of our seniors. Music concerts, obviously during the end of the year, we've had a couple of those so far. And then last evening, and I will not steal Mr. Oper's thunder because I know he'll put it in here, big night at Polaris last night for Brooklyn. So big night and a lot of awards, and our kids really shined again with that. But May's not over. We still have a few things coming up. Even tomorrow, National Junior Honor Society. You know, we've got that coming up. We got music banquet tomorrow. Prom, obviously. Mr. Wingler is probably home resting, getting ready for that. And I was just hearing all the fun stuff about post-prom that's going on. Next week, spring athletics. Then we've got commencement. Our seniors start to wrap up. And of course, I think one of our favorite days of the year, commencement here. So Sunday the 2nd, and obviously last day for students. So we're still really going full gear here, even though we got a couple of weeks left. But a lot of things happening in school. I'm really proud of our students. And I just finished up last week having lunch or breakfast with all of our seniors. And what a great opportunity. I relish those times to really speak with our seniors, to ask them not only what their plans are for the summer and the future, and just ask them, it's a great feedback for me to find out what has their Brooklyn experience been, and where can we improve upon that? Because that's our consumer, and it's wonderful to hear directly from them about what things like, Dr. Glykoff, make sure you continue to do this, or you know what, if you can change something, change this. And I'm compiling that so I can share it with both you and our administrative team. So, but I know we're all looking forward to the end, but obviously commencement. So, but that's my report for tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Glykoff. We're just gonna continue with the comments from board members and board committee reports. We'll get to Mr. Hoskins after. The first one's gonna be Mrs. Barcher.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I'd like to apologize for being late this evening. Being a mom of 3 kids never is a dull moment. I think now it used to be taxi. I should just put Uber on the side of my car, but they don't pay me, so I don't know how that works out. I just have to keep driving them everywhere. But again, I apologize for being late this evening. I know I don't want to be redundant, but I would like to thank all of the community members who got out and voted. I would like to thank the Support Our Schools Committee, those parents. I see a lot of you in the audience tonight. Thank you for all the hard work and the hours you put in. I think that if we could, there would be over 1,300 thank yous, because the kids would be the ones who would thank you the most. So I'd like to thank everyone who voted yes and who got out, because it really did make a huge difference, and it is greatly appreciated. I'd like to congratulate all those who will be graduating on June 2nd. As Dr. Glykoff said, it is my favorite day of the year to be a board member. It's what makes everything else worthwhile, is watching those kids walk across the stage and start onto the next chapter of their lives, and to know that they have a good foundation. Like I always say to them every year, remember, you will always be a hurricane, and you always have a home off of 480 right there. So I can't believe it seems like we just said hello, welcome back. I'm going to say have a great summer. Have a good time. Hope everyone has a safe summer. And do your summer reading projects early. Get all that stuff done. And I can always be reached if anyone would like to speak to me about anything. 216-406-4304. And Bob, this is called karma for making fun of me every time I was sick these past few meetings. And that's all I have, Mr. President.
We're gonna go on to Mr. Hennings.
Thank you. First off, I'd like to thank everyone. I know you're going to hear from each one of us. Thank you for all your help with the levy. I can't tell you, it doesn't work without each and every one of you who helped. And again, the rest of the community, thank you for voting, and teachers who live in the community and out of the community that helped out. I can't tell you how much we all appreciate it. The kids appreciate it, and there isn't a parent out there who doesn't appreciate it also, so thank you very much. I'd like to congratulate Jenny Young from the 7th and 8th grade middle school track team. She took 3rd in Columbus, and she did really well. She jumped 5.3, and I think from my understanding, that's pretty much a high school record too, isn't it, Mr. Jones? That's what I thought. Also, congratulations to the middle school robotics team. They took 1st place. They pretty much whooped up on North Olmsted.
This was all the Polaris Consortium schools, so it was.
Yeah.
9 schools.
They pretty much
Homestead,
beat them up,
Park.
which is good. I hope everyone had a chance to catch all the choir and band concerts. They get better every year. Also, I'd like to bring to everyone's attention, if you have a kid, or if you know one of a Brooklyn kid, junior, senior, sophomore, who's ever going to prom, and they're going to take pictures, and they plan on taking pictures in the metro parks, if they're going with more than 12 kids, they need to go and get a permit. I'm working there part-time, and they put that out to everyone. I guess there were some issues with groups last year, not Brooklyn groups, but other groups from other schools where they kind of go in and they take over. They got regular picture shoots. They got 20, 30 kids showing up, and they pretty much run the parks, and the Metro Park Rangers pretty much threw them out. So if you know someone who's going, let them know that they need to get a permit. Personally, we have a lot of beautiful places right here in Brooklyn that you can take all the pictures you want. The service department just redid the Night Commons, that's a very lovely place to take pictures. There's some nice places in the park. And, you know, drive around, look for spots to take pictures at. You don't have to go to the metro parks to do it. Also, we had a rec board meeting last night. Safety Town, from what I'm being told, is coming back. So I'm sure the school will be involved in that one way or another. I know we have a lot of stuff that we can donate them. Now that the ice is off, I guess the city is turning the rec center, the ice rink, into a field house. They'll have 3-on-3 basketball. You can just drop in, shoot around, whatever floats their boat when it comes to basketball. They can have some open play, but there will not be any full court games. It's made mostly for Brooklyn residents, seniors, if they want to go in and walk around and, you know, hang out in the air conditioning. They have 2 pickleball courts set up, so enjoy that. They'll also have the cornhole games up there also. They did say if, I know the hockey coach is up there asking about if he could bring the hockey team up there and do some rollerblade hockey, whatever you call it, rollerball hockey, whatever, I don't know. They didn't have a problem, just take a permit out. So, you know, that'll be good to go. They can just about have they have all the equipment they want to practice, whatever you want to do up there. Like I said, this is, let's see, the rec center pass holders is for free. Senior residents are for free. Children under 5 are free. Residents with a rec center ID card. Youth will pay $2. Adults will pay $3. Also, they did ask me to put out. They've had some problems with not Brooklyn. They didn't say, but parents dropping their kids off up there previously last summer, and they didn't give them any money for lunch. They just kind of dropped them off and told them to hang out in there till they got home. So they're not a babysitting service, but they can't drop. If your kid is under 11 years old, you have to be there with them. So if they're over 11, they can come hang out all day. But under 11, they have to have an adult with them. And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
You got it. Thank you, Mr. Hennings. On to Mr. Singer.
Yes, thank you. First, I'd like to thank you for the presentation today. It was very impressive. It's always nice to know that not only do our students, but our teachers are also learning new skill sets through professional development. So it was nice to see that, and nice to see the progress that we are seeing. I hear from parents. They say we're seeing a lot of progress in the children's reading skills, math skills. So I hope that continues. I too want to get in the bandwagon and thank all of our Brooklyn voters once again for passing our levy and allowing us, as the administration and board, to continue improving our district and serving our students in Brooklyn. I'm very much looking forward to graduation on June 2nd, and our distinguished graduates have garnered more than $25,000 in scholarships this past week. Walked on stage. It was nice to see the students on stage who are very well deserved in getting these scholarships, and you know, I'm very, very proud of the fact that they achieved things, especially over the years. You know, maintaining GPA 1 year, maybe 2 years, but to see it for 3 or 4 years is quite impressive. So it takes a lot of discipline. So I'm looking forward to June 2nd for graduation. And I also want to thank the parents. I want to thank the parents we had a packed house for the awards. In fact, we had to open up the upstairs because the upstairs was locked for a little while, and Dr. Blackhoff got the upstairs. We had grandparents, parents pouring in. They wanted to see the kids getting these awards in honors for academic achievement. So that was impressive. I look forward to seeing the development of many new course offerings at our high school for our high school students in the 2019-20 year, offering more chances to grow and develop new skill sets that can be applied to our real world. If anybody has any questions of me, they can reach me at area code 216-978-1931 in the Freeport. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Singer. On to Mr. Oper.
Thank you, Mr. Neal. I'd like, again, as everyone else has mentioned, I'd like to thank everybody that worked on issue 1. it seems to be that people statewide kind of realize it too, because there was only one district that I saw that didn't pass a levy, either renewal or new money, so I think that people are getting the message that it's the state more so than anything else. Polaris, as Dr. Gleikoff mentioned, was last night at Grace Church's graduation. Annette Malcolm was named one of the two outstanding seniors of 2019, and it was a real privilege to hear her speech, and she's got a lot of facets to her, and she's going to do good in whatever she wants to do, because she's just that talented. I also wanted to congratulate the rest of the Brooklyn graduates of Polaris. They should be very proud. Polaris also inducted 84 students, which is a record in the National Technical Honor Society. To be in that, it's fewer than 2% of America's secondary students are nominated for membership. You have to earn all A's in your program. You have to maintain a 95% or higher attendance rate and maintain a 3.0 cumulative grade point average. 7 of them are from Brooklyn. They are Haley Connors, Aaliyah Gross, Jessica Jasalonis, Marcos Villanueva, Elizabeth Guzman, Justin Gwynn, and Aaron Roast. And again, as everyone else has mentioned, I'd like to congratulate those graduates that are going to be taking those steps on June 2nd. It's the end of the beginning, but it's not the beginning of the end, obviously. Be very proud of what you've accomplished, but remember, education never really ends. Any questions? I can be reached at james.oper@bcshurricanes.org or 216-485-8195. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Hooper. Again, I would like to thank everybody for the community support. It was a very important levy that we got passed. And just thank you very much. Mr. Chingari, always a pleasure listening to you. Always have something that is enlightening. You really do. So thank you as well, too. So we're going to go on to the treasurer's report, and we're going to go to Mr. Hoskin.
All right, I'd just like to update the board on the 5-year forecast. Meeting next Wednesday, we'll be required to approve the 5-year forecast. And with that, working through the minefield that is the state budget, trying to figure out exactly how we're going to fare in that process. The bad thing about that is the budget's not due till June 30th, but our 5-year forecast is due on May 31st. So my assumptions will probably be limited to what I do know and not what some speculated that we should know.
Correct.
That's all. We're also working on converting our software on July 1st to the state software rewrite. Laura and I are working a couple days, have training a couple days next month to get that done. But working with Connect, they're trying to get our payroll to be mirrored on the state software side to what we're using in Paychex, so that we can just go ahead and process the July 12th payroll.
Perfect.
For the new system.
Good. Thank you. We're going to go on to minutes of Board of Education, or approval of minutes of financial statements. Reader tonight's going to be Mrs. Barczyk.
Thank you, Mr. President. Result of the minutes of the April 24th, 2019 Board of Education meeting be adopted and all action taken by the Board of Education at said meeting is hereby reaffirmed and adopted.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Hoskins, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Result of the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the financial statements of receipts and expenditures for the month of April 2019, including all purchase orders and all then and now statements for the month of April as submitted.
Can I have a
So
motion,
moved.
please? Second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Hoskins, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Result of the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby authorizes the superintendent to enter into a contractual agreement for school health services with the Cuyahoga County Board of Health for the 2019-2020 school year. Agreement on file in the treasurer's office.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
This is our contract with the Board of Health for school nurse services. We have Mrs. Barb Manley, who's our school nurse, does a wonderful job with our kids.
Anybody else? Mr. Hoskins, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby authorizes the superintendent to enter into an agreement with the Lorraine County Community College to qualify students for College Credit Plus during the 2019-2020 school year per attachment.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, school districts are obviously encouraged to have agreements with local colleges. This is one we have not had, LCCC. What was attractive for us as we looked at this one is we have many students who go to Tri-C, and LCC obviously has some of those same classes, and they have a university kind of packet right now with Cleveland State and others, so that they can get dual enrollment from both LCC as well as CSU and other universities. We're looking at trying to expand our portfolio for next year with maybe some online courses through LCC that could be good opportunities for some of our kids who don't have that ability to get to Tri-C.
Anyone else?
I didn't want to steal your thunder during my comments during student achievement, because I think that's something very exciting for the kids here to have the dual enrollment with LCC and then CSU. It'll be very helpful to a lot of kids.
Yep.
Your daughter does that, doesn't she?
She does, yeah.
Mr. Hoskins, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby authorizes the superintendent to enter into agreement with ASG Education Services, Inc., LEPA program LEAP for services for the remainder of the 2018-2019 school year.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Dr. Glykoff?
This is actually for a student who is new to Brooklyn as of just around spring break time, so you'll notice that this is for the remainder of this school year. LEAP program, special school that's housed down in Barberton, so this is a per diem contract.
Anyone else? Mr. Hoskins, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby authorizes the superintendent to enter into an attached agreement with the Cleveland Clinic Learner School for Autism for services for the 2019-2020 school year.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Dr. Glykoff?
Currently, this is for 1920, so this is for next year. Right now, we're on pace perhaps to have one student who will be over at the Learner School, so obviously we want to get these contracts in place. These are students who have these particular placements per their IEP.
How much is that,
This contract is actually for $79,000 per year per student.
per student?
Correct.
Student.
Anybody else? Mr. Hoskins, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the application of the following fundraiser activities on file in the Treasurer's Office. Groovy Granola Cafe Car Wash, May 21st, 2019. Hurricanes Junior Hurricane Camp, July 8th through the 12th, 2019. And Hurricanes Polar Express, 2019, December 6th, 2019. Can't believe we're already talking about Christmas stuff. Summer hasn't even
True.
came.
You know you wanna
Can I have a
that
motion,
junior
please?
camp.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Pretty standard fundraisers we have to get approved. I think duly note that the car wash for the cafe was today,
Today.
and I think it was very successful. Despite the cool weather outside, the kids and the staff there did a nice job. I think they earned over $500.
I was gonna say, they-
Levies.
I was gonna say, we haven't done car wash.
Let's go with a car wash.
Let's have them just do car washes.
Yeah, we'll do car wash.
Get rid of the
They earned
Yeah.
$500 today, so that's
Awesome.
fantastic.
Awesome, congratulations, good job.
Good job.
Mr. Hoskins, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the Brooklyn High School class of 2019 as submitted, providing all requirements for graduation has been met by that day.
Can I have a motion,
So
please?
moved.
Can I have a
Second.
second? Questions, comments?
Well, certainly we want to, this is the group that is ready and prepared. I think what you put emphasis on the last part of that sentence, providing that all requirements for graduation are met by that day, but we suspect that all of them will have those. But we're excited to announce our graduating class of 2019. And as I said before, commencement is just around the corner, so.
Congratulations.
Good
Yeah.
job. Mr. Hoskins, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby commends the following students per the attachment.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, these are obviously the group of commendations for this, 30-plus ACT, honors diploma, and our National Honor Society inductees.
Awesome, awesome. Good job. Anybody else? Mr. Hoskins, could you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves granting limited contracts for the 2019-2020 school year to the teachers named below, compensation and/or steps to be determined by negotiated agreement, as noted.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Again, last month we did our continuing contracts, and now these are limited contracts, so limited one-year contracts, and it's nice to be able to grant these folks these contracts going into next year.
Okay. Anybody else? Mr. Hoskins, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the change of hours for Alexandra Zuzik from classroom assistant 4.75 hours per day, Appendix B, Step 2, to classroom assistant 6.75 hours per day, Appendix B, Step 2, for the remainder of the 2018-2019 school year, effective May 1st, 2019.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, her hours were kind of paralleling a student, a special needs student, and as that student's hours were increased, the classroom assistant's hours were increased as well.
Okay. Anybody else? Mr. Hoskins, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the temporary change of hours for Linda Pruzek, custodial cleaner, 6 hours per day, Appendix B, Step 7, to custodial cleaner, 7 hours per day, Appendix B, Step 7, June 1st, 2019 through June 4th, 2019.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Questions, comments?
Mrs. Prusek's hours are being extended. We've done this the last couple of months. She's in helping out when we have another person out on leave. That leave has been extended, so Linda's hours have been extended.
Thank you. Mr. Hoskins, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the employment of Deborah, I don't want to butcher your...
Susan.
Susan, your last name, classroom assistant from June 18th to August 1st, 2019, not to exceed 90 hours at the rate of $12.84 per hour with students in the extended school year ESY program.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
We offer extended school year to some of our students with special needs, and so with that classroom, we have to have a classroom assistant, and Deb is going to be doing that with us.
Anybody else? Mr. Hoskins, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the employment of Alexandra Zuzik as a substitute athletic aide, cafeteria, library media assistant, and playground monitor for the 2018-2019 school year.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Questions, comments?
Our subs or some of our employees want to also be available to be subs or on-call subs, and so this is what this resolution does.
Anybody else? Mr. Hoskins, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education, in accordance with ORC 3313.26, gratefully accepts the generous donation of $187.80 from the Athletic Boosters for the National Art Honor Society, under the condition that the board shall have full control over these funds.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll always take donations. Thank
No.
you.
All right. Anybody else? Mr. Hoskins, can you call the roll?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Comment on
Yes.
And Mr. Neal?
The Finance Committee?
Yeah. Questions, comments, yes.
Okay. Resolved.
Yes. I don't know if I said yes, but yes.
Resolved that the minutes of the April 10, 2019 Finance Committee meeting be accepted.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All right, just, we had a meeting, when was that, Mr. Hoskins?
Friday.
Friday, yeah, jeez.
17.
We spoke about 5-year forecast, and we talked about technology and Wi-Fi access increase. So I'm also on the technology committee. We are looking to set up a meeting shortly to have that conversation, to look into access points throughout the school, just so everybody knows that. And we talked about permanent improvement expenditures and that type of stuff in the finance committee meeting. But I wanted to touch base with your technology, okay? We're good. Anybody else? Mr. Hoskins, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes. Is there any correspondence related to action information? Anybody?
I don't have anything.
All right. Any other business? Just a reminder, May 29th, we have a regular scheduled meeting in the treasurer's office. No, it's a regular meeting, it's not a work session anymore. Just so everybody knows that, May 29th,
29th?
Yeah, the 29th at
29th.
6 p.m.
Wednesday.
We planned that a year ago, Bob.
Yeah, all right.
You got a problem?
Well, it's the
Athletic.
athletic awards night also.
What
There's
time is
something,
it?
there's something every night for the
Yeah.
rest of the school
Okay.
year. I'm just saying.
Well-
And believe me, I know. There's something every night for the rest of the school year.
Well, you got a.
What time does it start?
I thought they were gonna start at 5:30.
5:30?
I thought they were gonna start earlier.
All right, that's a curveball. Let's think about
6:30?
how long,
I don't know.
It shouldn't, I mean, like, they go from the whole thing, I mean,
I don't know how long it's gonna take.
it doesn't usually take that long.
can we start our meeting at, if it was 5:30? Can we start at 7?
That's fine
I
with
hate
me.
to put that, everybody,
We could start at 7.
I'll be here.
would that be all
for the
right?
athletic.
I'll be here anyhow.
I'll be here
So-
for the
All right.
athletic.
If they're gonna start at 5:30, let's do our meeting at 7. We'll make that, Mr. Hoskins will correct
I'll
that.
have to announce the
All right, okay.
change at the time.
Okay.
Coming, wasn't you?
There's something every day.
So what we'll do is we'll change that meeting to the Wednesday, the announcement of next regular meeting, Board of Education, it could be Wednesday, May 29th, in the Treasurer's Conference Room located at the Board of Education offices, 9200 Bidoff, Brooklyn, Ohio. We're gonna make that a 7 PM meeting, and that announcement will be changed. And I'm gonna make motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And I have a
Second.
second. Mr. Hoskins, can you call the roll?
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes,
I'm a 6:46.
officially done.